In the last video we looked at how arrays could be used, multiple arrays, and looked at the myFormat command. What we're going to start moving towards is structuring our code. At the moment we can see everything falls between something called the submain and the end sub. Now that stands for a sub procedure, and this is a procedure. This is the main procedure, and therefore this is the code that runs from start to end. Anybody that's familiar with event-driven programming will know that we have a different sub-procedure for every event. For example, a button click, or a mouse over, or hover event, or text change event. In console programming, so far we've just done everything within that submain. This piece of code, we could actually say, well, that's setting up the array. So it might make sense to just create a separate sub-procedure called setup. And inside that setup, let's just cut all that code and pop it in there. So that is its own named procedure. So it has its own purpose. The purpose of that procedure is to set up those arrays. And what I could do from here is use the word call setup. And that would actually start our main program. And when it gets that, it would say call setup, which means go to this, run that bit of code. Once it's finished, come back here. So I could have another procedure, sub-procedure menu, and in the menu, let's take that bit, pop that in the menu, call menu. So it becomes a list of tasks. I could have another procedure, output, where you could take that piece of code and pop that into output. Call output. And I could have another procedure, search, where I can take this piece of code and pop that into there. So what my submain becomes is just a list of tasks it's going to do. So it's going to set it up, display the menu. If I choose 1, it's going to do the output. If I choose 2, it's going to do the search. And that tells it where to go with that code. I'm going to put a do, don't want that there. Loop until choice equals 3. So where's my menu? Menu, I'm going to give an option 3. Console, right line, 3 to end. Okay, so I can output the array. There's the array. I could search for a name. Search for Vera. I could search for another name. Put my name in there. Darren, it's not in the list, and I can exit. There we go. So that has done what's called take a program and turn it into procedures. Now we're still not on the best programming practice, because eventually we'll move on to something called parameters. At the moment, these variables have been declared in what's called global scope. They can be used by any procedure, and that is not good programming practice. But for the time being, you can start to see how our programs could be broken up. More on procedures, parameters, and types of variables, e.g. global and local, at a later date. But I just wanted to show you that.